Journalist Karin Lukas, who also joins us from Germany. Karin, thanks so much for your time. Now, you grew up in East Germany, in the small town of Eisenach, where you're also joining us from. Just take us through what life was like for you during that time.
I think we lived a pretty normal life on a day-to-day basis. It was more grey. It was rundown houses. It was not as colorful as the West, but as long as you didn't, as long as you were not part of the opposition, you could live a pretty normal life. I think the events today, 30 years ago, wouldn't have happened if the months before hadn't happened. Like there was the summer before where a lot of East Germans started leaving East Germany, the GDR, without risking their lives anymore. They went via Hungary in the summer. The borders were already open, just not with the inner German border. So I think it felt already a very exciting time before this day. But of course, the emotions on this actual day was just unbelievable what went through our minds when we heard the press conference of Schabowski, where it wasn't even totally clear if the border is open or not, because he wasn't sure himself. It was kind of, you could see that he wasn't sure what to say. And it was amazing, amazing feelings.
Well, just take us through that day. I mean, you were a university student when the wall came down, studying in Leipzig, if I'm not incorrect about that. Just take us through how that moment actually unfolded for you and how life changed.
Absolutely. So, as we said, a lot of my students who studied with me within the weeks and the days after this announcement, they just left university and they didn't bother to come back. Some of them didn't bother to come back because everyone was so excited to just go to the next border. So a lot of them went straight to Berlin, but I am from Eisenach, where I'm talking from now. And Eisenach is actually 6 kilometers from the inner German border. So for me, it was much more exciting to go back to my hometown and go along a motorway. I was never allowed to travel to the end. So it was the last exit on the motorway. And I used the chance to go with my dad in our old Trabi and just discovered places I could always see from a castle which is close by. I could oversee the landscape, but I was never allowed to go there. So that was the first couple of days what happened. And then, of course, the weeks and months after this day were quite chaotic. I remember it was everyone just left. There was a life before and a life after, and nobody bothered actually to keep doing what they were doing before. There was a chaotic situation in hospitals, and because people just left their jobs, and it felt a very strange, exciting times, but also difficult for a lot of people who just thought the war was the right thing. It was not the younger ones. For me, this fall of the Berlin Wall was an opportunity, a chance to start a new life. But there was a generation, older generation, who had built the wall and who believed to do the right thing, and who just at the end of their lives just were standing in ruins. Yeah, for them it was a chaotic time. They couldn't understand, they couldn't follow anymore.
Certainly a time of great change. Karin Lukas, thanks so much for your perspective and that personal take on the fall of the Berlin Wall 30 years ago today.